Happy Friday and welcome back to the Plus Money Podcast, your home for the best soccer bets in 15 minutes or less. And I can tell you right now, this is not going to be a 15-minute episode. I'm Andrew Passaro. He's Nick Dianni. The Premier League is decided. We've got big races coming down the wire in Italy and in Spain. I think the Bundesliga could be decided this weekend as well. We'll talk about it later in the show. But we are in the middle, a weird week here. It's the middle of European semifinals. We just had today, Thursday, the semifinals of the Europa League and the Europa Conference League. We're on to leg two of PSG up 1-0 against Arsenal, second leg in Paris, and on to leg two of Inter and Barcelona, leg two in Milan. And my Inter ticket at plus 1800 is still alive. But this is a weird one, buddy. And I have so many thoughts about this weekend. But I know I can read your mind. I know what you're going to tell me. We're fading all of these teams this weekend. Are we not?
What we've been doing very successfully over the past 2 months, so I'm not going to stop now. That being said, I like more than I should this week, but we've been hot, so I'm not here to question what to like or not like. We've been scorching hot over the past 2 months. Let's continue that trend. What do you got?
All right. We're going to kick this show off, but before we get to Man City Wolves, I have a crazy six leg plus 360 parlay of let's fade this European team. So Brentford double chance against Manchester United, Espanyol plus 1.5 against Betis, Roma double chance against Fiorentina, Bournemouth double chance at Arsenal. That's kind of the one risky one. Real Sociedad double chance at home against Athletic Bilbao in the Basque Derby, and Verona plus 2.5 on the spread um, against
I like
Inter
it.
on the road. It's
I
plus
like it.
360. Like, it's so stupid, but it absolutely should work. And then you get the opportunity of being mad at one of those teams when they,
Yeah,
they
and
inevitably blow the lead. I,
surely one of you will have a 30% boost and you get it to like plus 500. So let's
exactly.
roll.
Exactly. Also, you have no business putting fading Barcelona this weekend. They're playing Real Valladolid, who um, I think are the worst, like going to be the worst team that got promoted in a top five European league this season.
And
And
that's
that
saying a
says
lot.
that's saying a lot. So don't touch that one. And Chelsea are playing. You've got drunk Liverpool playing Chelsea that are coming off of a 4-1 thrashing where they didn't start anybody in the Conference League. So I'm not touching that game. But a game I am touching. Manchester City are taking on Wolves in the Premier League on Friday afternoon. I have a couple things I like here. Um, I got really excited, and then I just realized that both teams' to score is minus 128, and it's happened in 9 of the last 18 Wolves games. They're on fire. I love that. If you want to stick over 2.5 goals into that, it'll get you up to minus 105. I actually don't think that's worth it enough. I'd almost rather just play the both teams to score. It's also hitting 14 of the last 24 City games. And my favorite parlay piece for Friday, if there's something else that you like that you just need to get over the line, is a Mateus Cunha, one shot on target is minus 140. He's had a shot on target in all 12 matches in 2025. He's,
I, I would take the juice and probably play that on its own.
yeah, you can get two at plus 390. He's done that in 8 of his 12 games. And anytime goal scorer is, I don't know what anytime goal scorer is, but score or assist is plus 230. And he's done that in 7 of his 12 games in 2025. Um, Wolves
Say
are hot.
less.
Wolves are
Yeah.
hot. Manchester City need this game. I think this is actually going to be a really fun Friday afternoon.
Both teams to score minus 130 was what I wrote down straight away. Like you said, Wolves have been the side lately. They're scoring, they're having fun. They've got nothing to gain or lose from this game. So, um, City's defense just isn't very good. So, both teams to score.
Yeah, I love it. Aston Villa are taking on Fulham in, I think this is 7 versus 8 in the Premier League, 7:30 Saturday morning. I am going to go both teams to score in over 2.5 here. It's hitting three straight head to head. This is just proper British football. These teams should be running 4-4-2 and running corner routines. They probably won't, but they should be. In 2025 for Fulham, that's hitting 12 of their 19 games. In Aston Villa, it's 14 of their 26 matches. Aston Villa played 26 matches. It doesn't make sense. Um, I kind of like Villa in this game.
Yes.
Villa and over 1.5 is even money. Villa and over 2.5 is plus 150, and Villa and both teams to score is plus 230. Villa and over 1.5 has hit in four straight head-to-head games over and 14 of their 16 wins in 2026, 2025. And then the over 2.5 is hitting three straight wins, three straight against Fulham. As has the both Villa and both teams to score is hitting three straight head-to-head. So. Um, generally, Villa tend to win and there be goals in the game. They've done that 13 of their 16
Yep.
wins this year. So there's a couple different ways to attack that. Figure out the way that's best for you. What do you like?
Yeah, let's simplify it for everybody. Villa need points. They have to get three. They are still within reach of European places. Minus 130 at home on the money line, or their team total of over 1.5 is at that minus 130 number as well. Figure out which way you like to best attack it. I think both are good options. Villa have to have it here, and that's about as far as I'm going. They deserve to be favorites. They're at home. I think we did get our first win, maybe my first win on a Fulham game a couple weeks ago. So I think now I'm like 1 in 33 betting Fulham, jokingly. But so I mean, I reserve the right to be very wrong, but Villa absolutely need it. Minus 130. Don't need to go further than that.
What what is the number that would need to be presented to you to take Fulham team total over 1.5 in this game?
Well, Villa's defense is not exactly great.
That's what I'm saying. Like
So
if
they're
you're
plus
getting
340 on the money line. If you told me like a team total, it would need to be close to that plus 340 number. I'm sure it's in the 200s. I'm sure it's like 220, 230. Um,
it's plus
but
+215 is what I'm seeing.
Okay, yeah, there you go. It's a
It's
pretty good
not
odds maker
that's
here.
not bad. That's not
It's not.
bad.
It's not.
It's again, I could see goals early. But also
Like
somehow
go crazy. 3-2 correct score, something
yeah.
like that. Throw a little beer money on it. But I just think you gotta go with Villa. And what I'm noticing, man, I'm on a really like strong streak of like minus 130s that I've been giving out. I feel like 80% of the bets I give out just so happen to land at minus 130. It seems to be my sweet spot.
One more that I will mention, Morgan Rogers, 10 of his last 24 starts, he's had a shot on target -135. So, if you're building the Angel Passaro shot on target parlay, add that to the list from this episode. We'll jump to Sunday in the Premier League, a London derby, and this is actually, I think, West Ham in the Premier League, what they consider their biggest rival, and at one point Tottenham considered them their biggest rival before all the Arsenal stuff popped off. West Ham are taking on Tottenham. I expect Tottenham to start no one. West Ham money line is plus 120. Their team total over 1.5 is -130. I think Tottenham are going to play very similarly to the way they did against Liverpool over the weekend. They should start no one. They're going to Bodo Glimt, who have played 10 home games north of the Arctic Circle, and they've scored two or more goals in all but one of those games. Tottenham only bring a 2-goal lead to Bodo, so that one's definitely not over, and I think that's the only thing that they have left to play for. But yeah, give me West Ham on Sunday.
Yeah, listen, I agree. We have to fade Tottenham here. I don't buy West Ham necessarily, but they are favorites, and that kind of tells the story. So follow the odds here in this one. Scotty had mentioned that too. He liked their team total because Tottenham's defense is atrocious. It just is. So West Ham at home, actually with a chance to leap Tottenham in the standings. I think they're going to go all in this game. Plus 125 is solid. I think the draw at plus 270 could be a runner as well. So just something to keep an eye on there, but I'm with you in principle.
I think in general, with the numbers being plus, you could probably, do like a full unit on West Ham money line and like a half unit on the draw just to buy yourself a little insurance.
No.
Because I find there's no shot that Tottenham win this game. But let's jump to Brighton. They're taking on Newcastle. I'm back on Newcastle money line here, plus 135. Wins in 8 of their last 9. Have to win this game to get to the Champions League. And Brighton are going to be without João Pedro, who, in my opinion, is their better striker. I know they run out Danny Welbeck all the time, and they did it under the last coach, and they're doing it under this coach. I just don't rate Danny Welbeck that much anymore. But they also have just one win in the last 7, with 3 losses and 3 draws. Uh, give me Newcastle here. Oh, and
Yeah,
Alexander Isak is plus 115 anytime. So
good number for him. That's usually not good enough for me to take just as an outright, but he's minus 120 a lot of these games. Second leading goal scorer. Record speaks for itself. This is the like don't overthink it matchup of the week for me. Newcastle at a plus number. Brighton just have nowhere to go, nothing to do. They've fallen out of form. Newcastle plus 135.
you have to take it. You have to take it. I didn't even look at their team total, but I don't think it's going to be worth it. Also, Brighton can complicate this game enough that Newcastle somehow only win 1-0. So I don't think you need to go more complicated. Chelsea are playing Liverpool. Obviously, we're hammering Liverpool money line here. They are the champions. Chelsea are awful. I'm kidding. I'm very much kidding. I brought this game up because I
Are you
wanted
though?
to. I'm not gonna play money line. I want Arne Slot to do the ultimate troll move and start the 16-year-old that we stole out of the Chelsea Academy this summer. I think that'd be very funny. They probably won't, but
Chiesa?
no, no. This kid
No.
Rio with a last name that I can't pronounce. He's young and British, and he's gonna be like a nasty left winger. He's been playing with like the Liverpool U21s most of the season. Um, I brought this up only because the Mo Salah stats that I saw yesterday were really good, and I want to bring up 2 points. I do expect Liverpool to not have to be a who have partied all week, um, and Chelsea need this game for Champions League. But I want to bring up Mo Salah because he's chasing a golden boot, he's chasing some records, and he's also he's sober. He's not one to consume alcohol based on his religious practices. Anytime goal scorer plus 175. Score or assist plus 100. Two shots on target plus 200. I expect him to start. I also kind of like there was a point in the Tottenham game last weekend where it was just abundantly clear that the entire offensive plan was get Mo
Feed
Salah a
Mo.
goal here. And I kind of feel like that's going to be the game plan in
Yep.
this game is when we get the ball to Salah, get him an opportunity to score. Plus 175 anytime goal scorer for the leading goal scorer in the Premier League doesn't make
Yep.
sense. Score or
Nope.
assist at plus 100 doesn't make sense. I'm not betting any other props in this game personally, but I don't know what your thoughts are.
No, you're spot on with that line of thinking. If it's available to you, you take it. I think this is the ultimate wait and see what the lineup looks like for Liverpool before you make any decisions. So I'm not going to give out an official bet. I will say if Liverpool is putting out anything that resembles a decent lineup, if Chelsea doesn't, you have to take Liverpool draw no bet at plus 130. Like you've never ever, I think first time all year you're seeing a plus number on Liverpool anything. So just keep that in mind. But Chelsea do need it more. Liverpool probably are going to rotate or be hungover or not care. Everything you said, I don't need to rehash it.
Yeah.
Everything was correct. Um, Wait, be cautious, or avoid the game altogether.
Let's jump to Italy. There's some really fun matchups in Italy this weekend. We'll start with Parma. They're taking on Como, two teams that got promoted. Como in a much better spot than Parma, ripping off wins right now, and it's like money line plus 130. Let's go. But our boy Diao is out for the rest of the season, and I was looking at both teams to score and over 2.5 at plus 105, and I was like, yeah, it's hit decently enough for Como, maybe not enough for Parma. Do you know that Parma have wins in their last three home games against Como, and they've won six of the last seven head-to-head games? Um, or yeah, six of the last seven head-to-head games, double chance at plus 120 for Parma would have hit, and they've also won their last three at home. Am I crazy for taking Parma double chance here? I feel
You're
like
you're not.
I
They're
feel
they're
like
unbeaten in a lot of games too. They have a win over Juve. They scored two against Lazio. They scored two against Inter. They're scoring goals. And Como kind of like they've already done everything they needed to do. They're safe. Parma need the points. Parma
yeah,
still probably need 3 points, three, 4, 5 points out of their remaining games to be 100% safe. They beat Bologna recently. They scored two on Torino. They lost narrowly to Roma only because they had a red card in that game. I think Parma's the side to back in this one. And Como's the better team. They're the favorites for a reason. But I'm kind of with you on the double chance.
it's just like I don't know. It's one of those ones where it's like, wait, like these last seven head-to-head matchups were played, last year. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like this
right, right.
isn't this is and like they drew earlier this season at Parma. So I don't
No,
know. I
Parma's good. No,
Yeah,
they've given everybody a tough time. No
exactly.
exceptions.
And again, you're at that point of the season where all that matters is, these teams that need to stay up are gonna just
Salvation.
go exactly. Um all right, jumping to Inter. They're taking on Verona. Um as an owner of an Inter plus 1800 to win the Champions League ticket, I want like all the bench guys out there. Like I want Arnautovic, I want everybody out there that didn't start. Um, I texted you this earlier today. Call me crazy. Verona plus 1.5 is minus 112. Talk me out of it. And I did some more research, and it's like I really I see Inter winning this, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think they're going to play the craziest game of football. I know they need every point they can get to try to catch Napoli, but I think they can win this game 1-0 with their backup squad or 2-1 or whatever. In the last 29 matches, every match that Inter has played in 2025, they have failed to cover the 1.5 spread in 19 of those 29 matches. Verona have played 16 times this year. In 11 of those 16 matches, they've covered the 1.5. They did get spanked by Inter earlier this season,
That was
but I
5-1
don't.
game, right? Or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was one of the games that Inter like actually just blew a team out of the water
No.
because there hasn't been a ton of those this year. Look, Lautaro picked up a knock in the last game. You've got so many veteran players on Inter that have played so many minutes this year. Maybe you take it up to +1 3/4. Maybe you take it to +2. I just think there's a spot here to try to get Verona. I know they're a dog shit team, but I just don't see Inter blasting them in this game.
Yeah, +1 3/4 is -145. I mean, that's certainly on the edge, but you give yourself a whole lot of outs. So I don't mind that. My issue with Hellas is they haven't won in like 2 months. They're kind of in free fall. They don't score. They score less than a goal a game. So you're kind of asking for a lot. You almost need them to get a goal in order to ensure that bet hits. But Inter are a mess as well. So this is kind of another pass game for me. I tried really hard. I think you could take an over. So, like by your logic, if you think Hellas can cover the spread, which they absolutely can, Inter have been struggling in every way imaginable in the league. You can kind of just take over 2.5 at -130 and call it a day. So that's kind of where I would lean because then you're even protected if Inter do come out, score 2 goals at half, rotate, whatever it is. Um, you know, 3-0 Inter win gets you the win. A 2-1 game, anything that happens, you're kind of a little bit protected. So I lean over 2.5 in this one.
Did we just totally miss both teams to score at +122? Is
Well, I
should
guess yeah, if you're gonna go over 2.5, you might as well do both teams to score.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. There's a couple different ways to attack that game. Like I said, the tricky one. It's one that I will feel way more confident about as we get closer to
No,
lineups being out there. Roma are taking on Fiorentina here. Very interesting game. Um, I have two plays.
go.
I love both teams to score at -112, -110,
Yes.
whatever you can get it at.
Yep.
Fiorentina have played now 23 matches this year, and 14 of them have been both teams to score. Roma have played 23 matches, and 12 of them have been both teams to score. I really don't. I really kind of like Roma money line is like it's a little too far for me to take.
Yep.
And I'm
Uh,
like,
uh,
what can I tack on here? And I'm worried that the Roma are just going to squeeze out a 1-0 win here. Roma and under 3.5 is +125, and in the 23 matches they've hit that in 12 of them.
no.
I I just I don't know what Fiorentina are going to do. I feel like at this point their best opportunity to get into Europe is to win Conference League. They've gone to the final now, back-to-back seasons and fallen in the final. Um, I see Roma getting it done here personally, but I don't mind both teams to score either.
Yeah, I agree with you. Both teams score is probably my favorite bet in this one. I think you could back Fiorentina +1. It's a -145, but I'll go up to -145, -150 on a +1. The reality for me is, despite the fact that Roma has been on fire, despite the fact that they haven't given up a lot of goals, and despite the fact that Fiorentina are playing 3 games in the span of 7 days, they should not be a +400 underdog. Roma should not be a -155 favorite. These odds are just incorrect. And when I see that, I have to back the underdog, or I have to back the underdog to do something. And that could be to get a goal. So both teams to score for sure. I like. If you want to go crazy, and I shouted this one out, I don't know, a month back when we were on, Fiorentina team total, I think it was against Juve, and they were like +220 or +230, and that hit in like 10 minutes. I'm not saying that's happening here. If Moiskin is healthy though, and they trot out a good lineup, over 1.5 is +300. That's just an insane number for a team that's neck and neck with Roma in the standings. Like Roma are not that much better than Fiorentina. So
Can I, let me throw out something I just thought of or thought of earlier and just actually looked up. I've watched a decent amount of Fiorentina down the stretch here. A lot of things happen down that left side with Gozens. He's plus 1,000 anytime assist.
that's a stupid number.
It's a stupid number. Again, does
Stupid.
he start? Does he start? Does he get the full game? There's a lot of questions there. So again, be careful with it. Another big one, four playing five. These two teams have flip-flopped for 4 and 5
Yep.
back-to-back weeks. Bologna, Juve. I'm going both teams to score here at minus 104.
Yep.
It's hitting four straight head-to-head. Bologna, it's hitting 12 of their 22 games, and Juve, 11 of their 22. Over 2.25 goals in this game is plus 100. If you're going both teams to score, I think you could consider it if you're really looking for it. But I feel like by the time that this podcast gets out, those numbers are pretty much going to
Yeah.
be the same.
Obliterated. Bologna is a much better team at home. Bologna is a favorite, so it would be really cool to see them win for us as fans, for the world as football enjoyers, to see them beat Juve here, I think. Draw at plus 195 is screaming at me. Like,
Yeah,
this could be a 1-1 game very easily. Could be a 0-0, could be a 2-2. None of those scores would surprise me. I am on both teams to score with you, minus 110. That's my favorite play by far. I do think Bologna get on the score sheet at home. Juve has been good enough lately to do it as well.
my concern with the draw is that it does not help Bologna, and at some point, I feel like they got to go for this. Although Juve could definitely trip themselves up between now and the end of the
And
season, and
that's the question. Do we get the Bologna that looked awesome for the past month and a half and beat Inter away? Or is it the Bologna that drew 0-0 to Udinese and had like
yep,
one half chance the whole game?
yeah, that was so disappointing for me. Two games on the continent I want to talk about. Leipzig are playing Bayern. This could be a title decider, and Harry Kane is suspended for it, which is hilarious. Opportunity to kind of win his first ever trophy, and he won't even be on the field for it. Bayern and both teams to scores plus 140. That's hit in the last two games. Bayern have only done that in 8 of their 24 games this year. But I do really like some Elise props since the Musiala injury. He does have a goal in one of his last 5 games. He's only plus 160 anytime goal scorer. Two shots on target is plus 230. He's done that in two of his last five. But what I really like is three shots at almost even money. It's at minus 105. He's done that in all 5 games. Um, he's kind of had to be the creative force in midfield
Yeah.
for them. And this is going to be a big game for Leipzig as they're also chasing a European spot right now. But I do think Bayern are just inevitable and reclaim the German crown on Saturday morning.
I don't disagree. But I think Leipzig are going to have everything to play for. They are at home. I'd like to see a little more out of them. I'm going to go crazy here and take them plus one at minus 125.
There we go.
I just think they could potentially squeeze something out of this game. The draw is like a silly number too. It's like plus 350. That'd be cool to see. But Bayern just aren't clicking the way like they haven't needed to, but I just don't think they're clicking in a way that this is a foregone conclusion. I think Leipzig can push them off another week.
Definitely. I we don't go to France often here, but I have one. Lille are taking on Marseille. Jonathan David, anytime goal scorers plus 125. I don't know if that's really good enough for me, but he has a goal in 4 of his 9 matches against he has goals in 4 of his 9 matches against Marseille in his career and goals in only 4 of his last 10. I like over 2.5 goals. It's minus 112. It's hit in the 3 of the last 6 head to head. It's hit in 11 of the 17 Marseille games, 11 of the 22 Lille games. You add both teams to score that gets you to plus 105. Comparable stats. Um, and then I also like over 3.5 goals at plus 215. It's hitting 8 of 17 for
Well,
Marseille. Only 4 of 22 for Lille, but I don't know. I could see a crazy one in this one. This is 2 and 3 playing each other in France. Two teams that really desperately need European football in terms of
yeah.
finances. Um, I also like both teams to score in this one. It's in the Sunday both teams to score parlay, which you'll have to follow on the socials.
Listen, I think Lille, shout out them. They've had a phenomenal season. They really did well. They made a lot of noise in Champions League. Nobody thought they would. tough for me to really go against them there, but I just do think Marseille are a better team. I know they're away. It's tough. I lean Marseille plus a quarter of a goal, minus 130. I also think a fun one in this is red card to be shown
Ooh,
at plus 350. I just think it's could get a little chippy, could get out of hand. Plus, I wish it was like plus 400 or better, but plus 350 for a little sprinkle, I think could be a fun one in this game.
very much so. All right. Saturdays, both teams to score parlays plus 252 starts early. Fulham are taking on Villa. Villa have played 26 games, 16 of them in both teams to score. Fulham have played 19 games, 13 of them both teams to score. Another big one in France. On Saturday, Chelsea's trying to get one of their two teams into the Champions League, and Strasbourg are taking on PSG. PSG, obviously, leg two of a Champions League to look forward to. The seven of their last eight head-to-head games have been both teams to score. Strasbourg, 10 of their 18 games in 2025, both teams to score, and PSG, 19 of 29 games. And then we will go to the MLS. Chicago Fire taking on Orlando. We'll stick that in there to try to get our final leg. The Fire have played 10 games this year, and nine of them have been both teams to score. Orlando have played 10 as well, and six of them. It has missed in four straight, but
Okay. Okay.
but
Was gonna say
but but I don't know. Give me the Fire.
the Chicago Fire are like the low-key most fun team to watch. Greg Berhalter, for all the shit that he deserves, I think he's meant to be like an MLS club football manager. I think he's kind of found his groove. Um, the Fire have some good players,
Yeah,
and they're looking to add players in the summer. De Bruyne's a name that's mentioned a lot. Don't sleep on the Fire. A lot of goals. Your bets are correct. Orlando is falling off a cliff. I don't really know what to make of them, but good shout.
yeah. I don't know. Saturday's a weird slate. I was like struggling to find a third leg that I really liked. I have a crazy score or assist parlay that I will shout out. Jonathan David, we talked about. Evan Nielsen for Bournemouth got that red card overturned. Are they taking on Arsenal? He scored a banger against Arsenal in the Champions League last year. I think Bournemouth are going to get something in that. And then Isak on Sunday against Brighton. That's plus 971. If
Yeah,
you're
get it.
if you're inclined, I don't know if I'm gonna put it in, but it was just I was looking
Get
around
it.
at props, and then next week leg two Inter Barca. I'll be sweating a big ticket, and then Wednesday I'll be sweating my PSG to reach the final at plus 1,000. Um, yeah, that'll wrap it up for us. We'll see if we get some more league championships coming up, but it's all happening. We're getting closer and closer to the end of the season. We're in May. We're down. I mean, like, oh wait, hold on. There's one thing I forgot. I shout out my uncle Ken. I don't know if you're a horse race guy, but I am gonna be betting the Derby on Saturday, and my uncle has given me he's looking at Rodriguez in the Derby. No idea if Rodriguez is still running. Um, but that's my uncle's pick from like 2 weeks ago
Yeah,
to win the Kentucky Derby. So
I'll throw him in an exacta.
there you go. Exactly. Very excited. I love the Kentucky Derby. I'll be betting the Oaks on Friday. Yeah, we're pumped. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Stay safe. Bet responsibly. We'll see you next week.